Hi, what's going on guys? It's Almond. Welcome back to another Wizard101 video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about everything that possibly or will be coming to Wizard101 in 2025. I did a similar video like this last year where I talk about everything that was going to come into Wizard101 in 2024, and majority of that was all correct to a certain extent. So we're going to do the same thing for 2025 and tell you guys some things from what I can tell what's going to be coming out, and just how trends have been going for Wiz. So if you do enjoy this type of content, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, all type of stuff. Join Discord, where I think we actually did hit 1.5k members in the Discord. So, hey, hopefully we get to 1.6, keep it going. And I appreciate everyone that does subscribe and everything like that. Got to get to 6k by the end of the month. That's the goal. And I'll keep pushing out content. Like, we're slowly on that rise and everything like that. And a lot of you guys appreciate all the content. So there's that. Shout out to you guys. And hopefully you guys had an amazing New Year's Eve, etc. with family or loved ones, or even just doing your own thing and just spending time by yourself. Regardless, I hope you had a wonderful New Year's. So none of this will be in a particular order. It's just going to be going based upon what I listed. But one of the few things that we should be looking forward to even soon is a patch for Salinopolis. Now, we need a patch for Salinopolis. Not like super direly, like to the point where it's like, oh, I can't even play the game. But we do need a patch regardless. Loon Knight's busted. Some spells are broken. Kansu is still broken too, to a certain extent with challenge mode. Same thing for Loon Knight's challenge mode I was talking about. But we do need a patch with certain bosses, certain things. I think even challenge mode Mother Sun is spawning more mobs than intended. So I keep getting messages about the strat. Like, why isn't it working? It's because for some reason there's more mobs in the pool. I don't know why. That's a KI thing, and hopefully that gets fixed. If it's like a permanent thing, I mean, they haven't said anything about it. I even tried reaching out, but most of them are on holidays right now, so I haven't been able to get like an actual statement regarding it. But yeah, some stuff is just broken in Selenopolis, so hopefully we can get that fixed. It's something that we need. It's a patch, right? We don't know what other stuff that needs to be fixed, but from the majority, it's just some of the fights, specifically challenge mode from what I'm seeing. I know some people have been having some bugs with here and there with certain zones, but that's it from a certain extent from what I've heard from the community. So that's one of the things that we should be looking forward to sooner or later. Another thing that should be coming out soon is a Portal of Peril fix. Now, Portal of Peril has been broken for a while now. A lot of people miss Portal of Peril. Quick rundown what Portal of Peril is. There's a gauntlet like that cycles in. It has additional cheats. It's the same gauntlets as usual, like Sinbad, etc. Right? And then you get those fortune coins. You can redeem them on gold keys. You can redeem them on Spellements. Not really. If you're redeeming on TC, don't. But you should be redeeming it on mainly Spellements and then some of their retriever talents, because they are somewhat annoying to get. And that's really it. And then of course the tourney tokens. That's how people do tournaments realistically. There's other ways of getting tourney tokens, but this is just the way that most people do it. And that's realistically it. It's just a really good spot for Spellements and stuff. But it hasn't been in rotation on the event cycle because the fact is it's been broken, and hopefully that will be fixed. I mean, from what people are saying, it's fixed internally, but they just haven't released a actual patch with Portal Peril. So hopefully in January, if not sooner or later, we can get Portal Peril back, because this is a really good spot for Spellements. Specifically, in my opinion, you should be redeeming is the event Spellements. This is just an easy way of getting Spellements that are like kind of annoying to get if you don't play the events, like such as Beast Moon. That's like one of the main sources of getting these Spellements. So doing it from Portal Peril saves a lot of time, and that's how I maxed out some of my Spellements, because I don't play Beast Moon religiously as some people think I do. But if we go to, I believe you're here, Stormwing, I max it specifically out from doing Portal Peril. That's how good it is. I just did Portal Peril on multiple characters, so it's a really good source. But anyways, we should be receiving a fix soon, so be on the lookout for that. Another thing that we should be looking out for is a fix for the bazaar. Now, it won't be an entire fix as people think. The fix is subjective depending on how you look at it. It's mainly just so people can actually buy items in here, because the fact is certain items are you can't find in the bazaar with this whole update. Now, of course, certain stuff like look at the housing items and stuff like that. Some people are just said they can't find stuff. The treasure cards have been fine from what people are telling me, but I've heard from people saying the reagents are just reagents. Like this is all there is. So hopefully fix the timers on those, but I don't know if they're gonna fix it like how it was originally, to the point where it's like if I sell something it'll instantly pop up in the bazaar, because that's the whole trading issue that they had with players, that they don't want trading and stuff like that. But a lot of people just want it back. I'll be honest. It was just an easy way of selling stuff. That's how I sold myself so much dream water. Whenever I think Wallaroo came out, I had literally like 999 plus dream water, probably like around 5,000 within like the first week, and people were confused on how I had that. It was because I sold all the dream water from my alt accounts through here, and I sold it to myself. That's why I had so much dream water. So that's like an instance of trading, I guess you can say. So they kind of want to stop that. That's their whole gimmick. But hey, I think they should just bring it back. And there should be other ways to circumvent certain things. But we should be seeing a bazaar fix in some sort of way. If it's not the trading issue, it'll just be fixing the timers to a certain extent. So be on the lookout for that. We should also be seeing a update to the museum. Currently, there's only one museum right now. If you don't know what the museum is, I should have a video already on the channel. I don't want to go too far in depth, but basically it's like you collect some items, you unlock a vendor, they have some exclusive housing items and stuff like that. It's through guilds and stuff like that, so people usually try to like gun and try to go through it as quickly as they can. But we should be receiving a new museum from what people are saying, and it should be chrysalis. I guess, you know, the housing people have voted collectively on what they want to see, and luckily, you know, some of the devs do like hearing out on the community and stuff, so most likely it's going to be chrysalis. I'll be surprised if it's something else, because that's kind of what the majority wants is chrysalis. But hey, it could be realistically anything. They have all the doors floating in the sky. But yeah, instead of Avalon, we should be seeing a new one finally, so that's another cool thing to look forward to. We also should be receiving Monstrology for the Nightmare Dungeon and Salinopolis. Now, if you don't know what Monstrology is, there's a complete guide on it on the channel. But basically with Monstrology, what you can do is you can extract mobs, you can have them as like a summon, so you can summon them to the fight, or you can have them as a house guest, or you can have an expel cards where if you just use it, it instantly kills the mob. Now boss monsters particularly, for example, if we pull up this one that has a boss icon, it doesn't have an expel because you just be able to cheese every single fight. So you can only have them as a summon, or you can have them as a house guest. Now we do not have a section. We do have a section for Wallaroo, yes, but we don't have the stuff from the Nightmare Dungeon yet. It's been almost a year now, and we still don't have a section for the Nightmare Dungeon. So all the mobs that are in the Nightmare Dungeon, including Malice, which we should be receiving. I don't know what it would be considered. I would assume it'd be like a golem extract, but we should be getting that, as well as Salinopolis, because a lot of people want to see some of the mobs from Salinopolis extractable, have them as house guests, because, you know, some people like collecting the whole Pokemon stuff. So we should be receiving something like that as well. So be on the lookout for that for those people who care about Monstrology. Another thing to talk about is Arc 3 Spellements. So of course, I've already made a video covering Arc 1 Spellements and Arc 2 Spellements, but we should be receiving Arc 3 Spellements as well. So when it comes to, for example, we'll just use Storm in this case, Arc 3 Spellements, technically excluding Darkmoor, it's just realistically Iron Sultan, Rusalka, as well as, I believe, the Scions. It wouldn't be that Scion, it would be the Scion. So let's quickly clear out all this so I can show you guys a proper way. But realistically, you only have these three. Now you get Rusalka from Polaris, you get Iron Sultan from Mirage, and then you get Scion in Imperia. But here's the issue. We do have Darkmoor spells, right, which we got. Now, I don't know if they're going to include that in the Arc 3 Spellements, right, because it just statistically it doesn't make sense, because how these rematches work, we get corresponding ones to the arc. So Malicer gear is, if I remember, Skyfarer gear, right? But it's called Malicer gear because it's, you know, it's the Arc 1 rematches. And then when we move over to the Umbra Queen stuff, it's the Arc 2 Spellements, and it's Umbra Queen because, you know, the whole gimmick behind Morgant being the final boss. The third set we will be getting is the old Cobb set, which we can, I'm pretty sure Spyro Villains is still in the pack, or still in the pack section, I mean, in the ground shop. Let me see. Spyro, yes, 5 Spyro Villains. So that gear, it would consist of the Grandfather Spider set, so the wands, the robes, and stuff like that. That would be like what it's cosmetically looks like. But when it comes to the template, I'm not too sure what they're going to do, because we didn't receive a level increase yet. So I don't know if they're going to hold off on it till later on in the year, or if they're just going to make a brand new template. That is completely up to them, but I don't know what they're going to do for that. But it's the same thing with Glowbug. I don't know how they're going to do that either, because since it's, you know, you get the spell from Darkmoor, now that isn't considered it's like a side area, it's a side world, it's not considered you know, arc 3, so I don't know how they're going to do that. And they can't just make a rematch for the other ones and then just toss in glow bugs. Realistically they can, but it just doesn't make sense, because for example, if I had to take a guess, Polaris final boss and the boss rematches, right? Because, you know, we have all these different boss rematches, right? So if we quickly go over here, you can see it's each world's final boss is the whole thing right here. Other than technically, you know, when we go to Huok Cries Blood, there's no Mouse or the Undying in here. So, but other than that, it's literally just corresponding to those. So when it comes to the Polaris final boss, it would be, we would get a boss rematch that's involves the rat. Right, the rat is technically the final boss, so we'll probably have something like that. I'm hoping that we still have the gimmick of, you know, the outside forces technically fighting also in the fight. Kind of want to see something like that with the golem. And then Mirage, it would be technically Grandfather Spider, but if they want to go the route of having him as well as, like, you know, Shadow Walk, Rattlebones, and all these other bosses that you fight, and toss them in there too, they can. I feel like that would be nice, and just add like a random value in there where it's like, hey, you know, this person can also be spawned, this person can be also spawned, whatever. Or maybe even Scorpion, you know. But they're probably just going to do Spider if I had to take a guess. But then when it comes to the Scion, I don't know if they're going to do Path Bs and Path As, because here's the issue. We have PvP Scions. So I don't know how exactly they're going to go about this when it comes to the Spellement paths, because we can pull up, let's see, what spell we can pull up, for example. We can pull up, I guess, Storm Owl. I guess we'll just use that. Storm Owl has its, you know, Path A and Path B, right? And usually Path B is for advanced content for the majority of players, right? There's some people who use it in casual PvE, but majority of the time you pick Path A for PvE. So when it comes to these, I don't know what they're going to do. It's a very questionable thing, because this would be considered Arc 3, because you do get it for Imperia, and Imperia's final boss is Titan's Trident. Now, are they going to do that? I'm not too sure. Or is it going to be the actual one that you fight as like the Paradox form? But if I had to take a guess, it would be Titan Trident rematch, boss rematch or whatever. But I'm hoping that whatever is done right here for these Spellements, well, excluding this one because this one's a PvP one, but for these Spellements and then corresponding to the ones for your own school, right? It'll be like Lulu and, you know, all the other ones. I'm hoping that they're done right. That's realistically I'm hoping for. And I'm hoping, since they're shads, right? This is also the first thing that we have to consider. These are shads. So I don't know how they're gonna treat the value of shads or anything like that with the, you know, the Path A's, Path B's. But all I'm hoping for that it's done right. That's realistically I'm hoping for. And I want to see these spells be used more in PvE. So whatever they do, you know, I trust they'll do something right. And if not, you know, of course we'll make a video reacting to them and everything like that. But we should be receiving Arc 3 Spellements. Those would be like the ones that we can talk about. But as I said, I don't know how they're going to do it, because since, you know, you do get spells in Dark more, it's a little bit iffy. So it turns into like an iffy thing, as well as the template. They might make a brand new template, because we still are 170, so we can still use Umbra gear, which is considered a, you know, Wastelander template. So it just comes down to them on how they want to do that. So that's something that's worth talking about. Another thing that we'll possibly be getting is a new Gauntlet. Now, the last Gauntlet that we got was the Forbidden Library Gauntlet. So this is up to them on how they want to do it, because it depends on when they release the Gauntlet and everything like that. But we, as I said earlier, we already are 170. So, you know, releasing a copy-paste plot armor robe wouldn't suffice. So they would probably do something with this template or make a brand new one or whatever, right? But should be receiving a new Gauntlet, and when a new Gauntlet comes out, that also means a new pack. So I remember, I think it should be just called Library Gauntlet. Yeah, the Forbidden Library Horde pack. So we should be receiving something along these lines where it's like a new pack, which, you know, hopefully not too many people are incentivized into opening the pack, because the Gauntlet would be better. And, you know, how the current Gauntlet went with the Forbidden Library, there was a pity system. So you were able to just craft any other piece. Pretty straightforward, as well as we had a secret boss in there, which I feel like that they should do once again. I'm hoping that they do a secret boss in this new Gauntlet if they do release one, and put a mount in it realistically, and it kind of just Like, a lot of people like that, right? It adds cool things. And what they did with Cell Nautilus with the 2 secret bosses, or like all the Crocs technically, and as well as the Great One having secretive items, I kind of like that. So I'm hoping they do the same thing with whatever new Gauntlet comes out. And then, you know, well, of course we'll have a pack corresponding with it. Just don't know how the templates are going to work, or it's going to be a brand new template. Because, you know, we are still 170, there is no increase on the levels. So that's something to consider as well. Another thing, quick note regarding the gauntlets, if they do toss in jewels, I'm hoping they make it so you can get jewels for, you know, item card hex, item card curse, stuff like that. I do appreciate those types of jewels because we already have an easy source of getting proof and defy. So I'm hoping some sort of thing that has an easy way of getting hex, curse. I don't know about reinforce because, you know, this isn't technically... It's good, yes, don't get me wrong, but if we bring too much attention to it, it's more likely going to get PvP banned. That includes advanced content, so I'm trying not to bring attention to it. But yeah, we should get hex and curse and wisp bonus tossed in there. That's my 3 honorable jewels I want to see in that gauntlet. So there's that as well. And then later on, probably around summertime, as always, we should be getting a new raid. Now, we already currently have, you know, the Polaris raid, which is Demonic, and then, Demonic, and, where's it? Unreal. Unreal you get from just straight dropping from the Polaris raid, and then Demonic is where you convert that other piece into... Oh, where is it? Right here. Yeah, you convert it into Demonic or whatever. You use Unreal and convert it to Demonic. But we should be getting a new raid. Now, what possibly could that raid be? Now, if you know, correspond with the trends, first raid that we had was Arc 1, which was Dragonspire. Then we had Arc 2, which was Azteca. Then we had Arc 3, which is Polaris. Now, what could be the next raid for Arc 4? If I had to take a guess, as long with everyone else, is more likely going to be a Caramel raid. I don't know what it's going to be, how is it going to be, but we're most likely going to be getting a Caramel raid. If it's something else, I'll be surprised, but to me the most sense is a Caramel raid. Now, when it comes to the templates, another thing is, since there is no level increase, I don't know what they're going to do. Because, you know, we still have, basically the nullity and void gear is what Demonic is and what Unreal is. Now when it comes to Hun Hao and Chabalba, we have 170 variations of those already. So we get that predicament again with not a level increase. So it's like, hey, are they just gonna make a brand new template or break a template or slight stat increases? Possibly. But what I am hoping for is if they do release new amulets, which they are, right? It just makes sense. They make a whole full gear set. Is what I want to see is on the Unreal piece. I think it's the Unreal balance one. Let me see if I can find it. I think it's Unreal or Demonic. It might be Demonic. Let me pull it up real quick for you guys. There's a certain card that I was really... This one right here. This is such a nice card, Ellie Surge. It basically what it does, it's a 3 pip spell, but it's a bubble that gives you fire, ice, and storm damage. I want to see a Spirit Surge for balance. So hopefully we can get that on the next template or some type of piece of gear later this year. I really want to see Spirit Surge. We have Ellie Surge. I want to see Spirit Surge or something, because that gives balance more viability. And balance is already good to a certain extent, but when it comes to supports and like being a support in challenge mode and stuff like that, I like the ability of Spirit Surge because at least I can have a death hitter and a myth hitter and a life hitter. Realistically, not going to be life, but if you want to have a myth and a death hitter, it's very nice. Also, it will be used in other strategies, so I'm hoping that we get something like that. I know it's a very niche thing to talk about, but if we do get a new template for the raids, like I said, please toss that card on there, I beg. Another thing to talk about is key boss stuff. Now, of course, it wouldn't be a video if I don't include this, But I expect this to either be getting a new key boss or a revamp to previous key bosses. Now, this is something that they did before, where, you know, the Mushu key boss, for example, or the Avalon key boss, they got a vendor, which you can, you know, buy some gear from with the new pity reagent that they all give. Each one has its own pity reagent, so if you do the Mushu one, you get sword oil. And you're able to craft some gear that basically has a template that gives you, like, no resist. it's just no resist, but they have really unique item cards, which I like. The Dragon Blade, very nice. The Avalon one gives you a backdraft. That was perfect. That was literally perfect. We needed that, and that was the best thing that they did. But the Dragon Blades on here, good. The Avalon one gives you backdraft. That's good. And then these, I think the boots give you balance blades. Yeah, the boots give you a balance blade, and then the robe give you a blade storm. Now, these are very nice cards. I love it when they do amazing item cards on certain pieces of gear, because that's what I've been looking forward to, because certain stuff is very annoying to get, like when it comes to item card stackability. The amulets were good too, because they give you a hex, and they also give you a donate power, so I kind of like that too. It's mainly just for advanced content. The decks were used for PvP and some other stuff, but I do like the item cards. But and same thing with the hat row boots. And it was mainly traditionally for the fact of being able to use that for challenge mode, and some people are using like PvE setups, but I consider it more challenge mode stuff. So if we are getting a new key boss, you know, we'll get 7 new spells, just don't know what they would look like. And then of course, if we do a revamp on a boss, they're probably going to do maybe like Aquila or something else. I don't know. The only reason I'm saying Aquila is because Rapbeard said something in the Discord, and now everyone thinks new Aquila spells, which, I mean, hey, that could possibly happen, but I mean, that can also mean a new key boss. And if they do a new key boss, I don't know what spells that they would do. It's still a good opportunity, if they ever need to, is just release the Aquila spells, like the Hades, Chronos, like those specific ones. And I'm pretty sure I can pull that up in the Jewel pack, but I know some people want those to be eventually spells. So if we pull up the Jewel pack, I think it should just be in the Rock Hammer. Okay, so here's an example of one of those cards. I'm just going to pull up the ice one. Each pack has its own, but the ice one is like Wrath of Poseidon. It steals a positive ward and does damage. Now they can completely revamp this, give it spell elements, and make it completely viable 9-pip spells. Each school gets a 9-pip spell from a key boss. That would be interesting. That's something I've been waiting for I don't know how long. I think it's been like 2-3 years, maybe more. I'm still waiting on those to eventually be spells and somewhat viable 9-pip spells. So if they ever want to do a new key boss and maybe give it an Aquila, I mean, that's something that they could do, right? If they are going the Aquila route. But that's only because Rapbeard said something in the Discord about new Aquila spells, or something about Aquila. That's my only thing that I can lead to it. But like I said, if they do a new key boss, we'll get a spell for each school. And then of course, if they go back and revisit some key bosses, they'll probably revisit like 2 key bosses, just like how they did this past year. And you know, give it a vendor where it's like a pity system, craft some gear, etc. And I don't know what template it would be. They would probably make another template, because we still, like I said, if there is no level increase yet, not till later this year, then they'll just have another 170 template that's just sitting there that probably doesn't have as much. What depends on what they do to the template, but that's something to consider. I'm just hoping the item cards are good. That's realistically what I look forward to. I like seeing new item cards. I kind of don't want to see the same couple item cards. I do want to see some brand new item cards introduced, or something, some sort of mechanic introduced. But that's something I'm looking forward to as well when it comes to key boss stuff. Also, I forgot to include, if there is a new key boss, that also means a new pack. So for example, if we had a Burrower gear like a while back, right? The Burrower template that was busted at one point, that was at 160. So they're not going to release a Burrower template again. They're just, because it was too good. But what they'll probably do is release a new pack if there is a new key boss, and if there is a revamp to previous key boss, they'll go back to that pack, revise the 170 template or 180 template eventually, right? And toss those new spells in there as well, just corresponding to what they did this past year. So there's that to include as well. I switched to my fire for this purpose of this part of the video, but I did want to include that we will possibly be getting a new rank added to weaving. Now that is not just to one specific path, it would be all of them. So currently we have initiate, which is the max. I've already done all the weaving stuff on my storm and my other characters. Just the fire I take my time on for video purposes. That's how I record all my weaving videos. But for weaving, we might be getting a 4th rank. So currently, for example, if we visit Surge or whatever, you know, apprentice, you get your fusion, as well as, you know, if you combine those 2 cards listed in the formula, you can get your fusion formula, and you can get lightning dragon. Another thing you get is at rank 1, you get your inferno blades. Of course, every school is its own separate thing. So for example, if I like go to Morrison, he's not going to have his blade, you know, he'll get it at his own level, etc, etc. If you're confused about the weaving stuff, there's so many guides on the channel. I don't want to go too far in depth because we can be here for a minute. But the 3rd rank that you do get is jewels from here. So if we go right here, you can get those jewels. Now for rank 4, if they add one, we don't know what it could be, right? They could release the damage jewels, dual damage jewels, right? They could release another formula, they can release another utility, or they can do something completely different, like pins or something like that. I doubt they would do pins because, yeah, that would be a little bit more iffy. But they could just do a dual damage jewel just to make it like a little bit more easier on them. But yeah, it would be something along those lines. I don't know what I would want personally from the weaving rewards after rank 3 perhaps. But dual damage jewels would make sense, but if we do get new spells or like formulas, etc, etc, I don't think that they should do that. They should probably hold off on it, because literally this past year we got so many spells, and that includes fusion formulas. So I think they should just hold off on the fusion formulas. If they want to add a utility, go for it, but I think they should hold off on the fusion formulas. Add either dual damage jewels or add per se a new utility for each weaving tree. That's what I would say. But yeah, look forward to another rank of weaving, because of course they're going to do one a year. And then another thing that everyone should be looking forward to is like the fall update, and that consists of a new world and a new level cap. Now, of course, currently we're 170, so we'll have 180, and then of course that means a new world. Now what that new world could be, I have no clue. I have zero clue. There's no hints towards it or anything like that. And I'll be surprised if they don't release a new world, but most likely they'll be releasing a new world. So there's that, and that means if there is a new world and everything like that, that means your avatar gear and your free gear is going to be somewhat useless, because the 180 gear is just going to be upgraded variations of this. So keep that in mind. So whenever we do get that, your Dream Reaver boots, well, there'll be 180 variations of Dream Reaver. It won't be called Dream Reaver, but it'll be called whatever corresponding to that world. So that's something to also remember. Same thing with Avatar. So when that happens, that means all the other templates will eventually get revised and, you know, get level increases to a certain extent. And that also means eventually they'll release a 180 variation of the demonic robes as well. They'll still be called demonic because we haven't gotten upgrades for these yet, but it'll just be 180 upgrades. And who knows if that will be in this year, or we won't get that till the next year. So that's something to consider as well. And if there is a new world, that also means new spells. Now if they release new spells, at the moment I have zero clue. I have zero clue what those spells could be, because Salinopolis, even though it's confusing to certain people, because Salinopolis is technically considered main story, and whatever those new spells will be. So like obviously we got Hecate, and then we could pull up the Wallaroo spells, the Wallaroo AoEs. So there's that. A 3-pip and a school pip, which are an AoE, and then we got a single target spell. If I had to take a guess, maybe new AoEs that would be considered like a something in a school pip, if they want to keep going that route, because I know we did get, you know, Novus did introduce school pips, and then of course Wallaroo gave us a school pip, and then Salinopolis, you know, hit us with a curveball and gave us a 7-pip that has fusions and stuff like that, like the whole I don't think I do have them trained, so like we did get like the fusions and stuff like that. So who knows what those consist of. Maybe we get an AoE with the school pip that also has a fusion mechanic involved, or we can, you know, create these essentially again, but with like some other sort of stuff. That would be interesting to continue the mechanic, or maybe they want to hold off on the school pip stuff and just continue with this whole fusion stuff. But realistically, I feel like they should just combine it, release a new card that is maybe an AoE that has a school pip on it, and as well as has fusion formulas. That would be something nice to look forward to, at least in my opinion, right? And then you can release path Bs for them, and who knows if they'll be good in PvP or not. That will depend on the meta and how other spells are going to correlate with that. So that's something to consider as well. Back on the statement of when we're talking about packs, I also want to include that we should be getting a new sort of pack. So essentially we had Wallaroo Wastelander, right, which was this, and it was all Wallaroo themed. It was not considered a world pack because the world packs are a little bit different. If we can pull it up, so we have Novus world pack, we do have the Wallaroo world pack. We don't have a a world pack for Salinopolis, so who knows if they release a Salinopolis world pack. I don't know if there would be a reason behind that, but we should be getting a quote-unquote new pack. It wouldn't be called we could be getting a world pack for Salinopolis, considerably, if you wanted to consider that, but we should be getting something similar to how we had I believe it was called the Novus something. I don't remember what the Novus Explorers, or we got the Great Inventor template, which is just basically what, if I remember, it was the other thing, Eternal. It was just Eternal but in packs, if I remember. So there's that. So we should be getting a Khonsu template but in packs, which you're not really opening it for the gear because you can just go to Salinopolis and get yourself some Khonsu gear, but it would probably just be some nice cosmetic gear at the same time. So that's something to consider. So similar to those two packs, when it comes to Novus Explorers and Wallaroo Wastelander, we'll get something called Salinopolis something. I don't know what it would be called, but it'd be something like that. So we should be getting something like that as well to be part of that. Another thing to talk about when it comes to packs is that we should be getting a Daemonic template or a Unreal template, like how we were talking about earlier with the raids. I know some people have been asking this, is there going to be a pack for the Polaris raid technically? Now, it wouldn't be specifically the Polaris raid because, for example, we have the Fairy K pack. Now, the looks and the cosmetics have nothing to do with the Azteca raid, but they do have gear that is literally stat by stat equivalent to Xibalba gear. And the same thing, we had the Florimancer pack that is a Halloween exclusive, which is very annoying, which you can only get from the Florimancer pack during Halloween, but that has Hanhao gear just 170. So if they do release a pack this year, it's going to be not the same it'll be the same stats as Daemonic or Unreal, but the item cards are going to be severely different. So that's something to look forward to as well. I don't know which they would release first. That is up to them, because technically Fairy K came out, and then after that we got Florimancer upgraded, which was Hanhao. So if we're going based on that, I would assume we'll get Daemonic in packs, and then Florimancer, probably a new pack in Halloween, which would be another Halloween exclusive, which would be Unreal. Something along those lines. It just depends on how they want to flip-flop it or how they want to do it, but it would be something along those lines. And then lastly, I want to talk about two things that really aren't talked about for Wizard101, but to a certain extent they are, is that we should be getting some more information on Wizard101 console stuff. I know a lot of people are looking forward to that type of stuff. Not so much me, because I don't think it will be cross-platform type thing where it's hey, if I have my Wizard101 account that I play on the official Wizard101 launcher and everything like that, can I use that on console? I don't think it's going to be like that. So that means a whole new server, everything like that, but we should be getting more information on that. But from the KI Live, they did say that if you do ask nicely, Joel might come on a KI Live in January or February and talk a little bit more about consoles. So perhaps if you ask nicely. He also did say that he's also opted into, if he wants to do content with certain creators and they have him on there, or a stream, and you guys can ask questions about console. If you guys want to see something like that, I can definitely ask Joel and see if he's up to it. But that's something that could happen, so if you guys want to see that, let me know. And then when it comes to the other games, well, I think the Ravenwood Academy game, I think it's called that, I don't remember, but there hasn't been much information regarding that, because the fact is they did say that it's in very, very early development, and they're still looking for hiring more people on it. So I will probably receive more information on it, but I don't know if it'll release this year or not. That is up to KI themselves if they want to release it this year, but I doubt it. It's still going to take a little bit more time when it comes to all that stuff. Another side note that I do want to talk about when it comes to elixirs, we do have Celestia, Zafaria, and Avalon, so we should be getting another world elixir later this year. So if you care about those, I thought I'd toss it in here before I forget. But yeah, we'll probably get another world elixir. I'm not too much of a fan of the world elixir. I kind of like the whole like level 50 elixir that we had, which I think I can pull up real quick. Yeah, level 50 elixir. I own one of these. I've actually used one of them just for a purpose of a video, and I still have one. I think in my gift box. I don't know why I have one. And I'm pretty sure I have one in my gift box somewhere, but I do own one, so I don't know if I'll ever use it, but hopefully we get an Arc 2 one eventually, where it's just like level 100 skip elixir or something, but like the prerequisites is like you have to use the level 51 and then use the level 100 one. I don't know how they're gonna go based upon that, but there's that. But that is basically everything I covered for this year. Of course, there's probably some other stuff that I might not mention that we have no clue about, but this is just kind of stuff that I figured that somewhat it's kind of based upon the whole trend of what has happened the year before, and majority of this is going to happen, right? Majority of these things are going to happen, and certain things can be delayed or etc. It really just comes down to them at the end of the day, and it's a little bit of a skewed with the dates and stuff like that, because the fact is we don't have 180, right? The thing is, we had 170, 160 in the past, so it was easy to tell what was going to come out next. But since we don't have a level increase yet, not till fall, the templates are going to be a little bit weird, and I don't know how they're going to format those and how they're going to release those at certain points, because eventually we'll get 180 versions of those templates. Like, for example, Wastelander will have a 180 variation of that. Reaver will have a 180 variation, but it won't be called Reaver because they'll release it with the new world. And then, of course, that also means Stalker would be getting an upgrade to 180, but it won't be called Stalker. It'll be whatever the new world is called. So it'll be related to that, etc., etc. Also, when it comes to a new world, I'm hoping the boss is cool, and I'm hoping Cam designs it. I appreciate when Cam designs bosses. I always look forward to those. And I don't know, just personally, I always look forward to those. So hopefully that goes all good. And oh, and that also means challenge mode. How am I going to forget about challenge mode? That also means if they are releasing Arc 3 boss rematches, that also means Arc 3 boss rematch challenge modes. That means, as well as if there is a new world, that means we'll be getting another set of challenge mode gear, which is similar to the heretic set, the hereticals. I don't know how to say it, but that means we'll be getting more challenge modes with that world, and I'm hoping those go good. I'm hoping that we get a decent looking gear set. I'm hoping it looks cool cosmetic, and I'm hoping whatever the badge title is, I'm hoping it's similar to Wallaroo, where it's like Wallaroo Challenge Chaser or something like that. I like the idea of having challenge in the badge name. Selenopolizer doesn't feel that kind of rewarding, so I'm hoping it has like challenge in its name, something like that, to show that you like beat that world's challenge mode, not Selenopolizer. I don't know, I personally don't like the badge name, but yeah, that also means new challenge modes and stuff like that. So there's that. But yeah, that's basically everything to talk about in this video, and some last minute things I wanted to include. So hopefully you guys are looking forward to this whole year. Of course, I will do my best to cover as much content as I can, as much guides as I can post. And if you guys want to see anything on the channel, let me know in the Discord. There is literally a section that has vid suggestions or anything that you guys want to see in the Discord. Let me know. I'm pretty open to a lot of ideas, and I do have another character slot. You want to include this? I did post this as a community post on the channel, but I do have an additional character slot. So if you guys want to see something, let me know. But if you guys want me to just do a regular character walkthrough, there's no need, because I have one of every character, and I can still create more characters. I just haven't. So keep that in mind as well. But that is it for me. Be sure to leave a like, subscribe, all that type of stuff. Let me know what you guys are looking forward to this year in the comments down below, and hopefully you guys had an amazing new year, New Year's Eve, etc. right? And look forward to all the great things coming to this channel. But I'll do my best to upload as much as I can, because I also will be busy this year, 100%. I know it. So I still have to make time for education, family, friends, loved ones, as well as still make content. So I'll do my best, right? Do my best. But that is it for me, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace out, guys.